Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? It's November 29th. I think about 9 p.m. in the evening here in San Diego, California. I want to start making videos. I made a video earlier tonight about EOS, but I'm not going to make any more EOS videos. If after what's happened here recently with moving 157 million tokens to an exchange and without any kind of explanation for what they're doing, I'm never going to make a video about those guys ever again. And I'm saddened that I ever made a video about EOS to begin with. It's very sad to me because we put a lot of work and effort into that chain, and we put a lot of money into it. And see, the way it's turned out is just really disappointing, just because of a lot of greedy people, and it's really sickening to me. Really sickening that these kind of evil people are in charge of. They want to act like they're your friend and they want to benefit you, but they don't. They just want to benefit themselves and the people around them. So no more EOS videos, and please don't ask me to make any more EOS videos. The chain actually sickens me. It just makes me sick. But I want to make videos about Bitcoin and make videos about the incoming Trump administration, because that's going to be an interesting topic here in the next few months. Trump comes into office here very soon. There's a lot of things going on. Who knows what Trump plans on doing? It could rearrange everybody's lives. If he's going to do this mass deportation, or if it's just saber rattling and he's just trying to scare other people into doing things that he wants them to do without having to do it. But if he does it, it's going to be wild. And I'm going to make videos about that. The other thing, too, is the Bitcoin is going very well. I think it will continue to go well. If Trump does the tariff thing as he promises, it's going to cause a lot of inflation. I know a lot of people don't know quite how it's going to play out. Nobody knows quite how that's going to play out. But whenever you slap 25-30% tariffs on people, the immediate effect of that is that someone has to pay for that. And the people that are paying for that are going to be the people that are having that stuff delivered in the United States. And if the ultimate goal is to make that stuff be produced in the United States, it's going to take time for that production to ramp up. So in the meantime, while companies are paying this high tariff to bring in those goods, it's going to cause a lot of inflation. So we could be looking at some serious inflation through the tariffs. And not only that, if you deport a lot of people, it's going to cost a lot of money, which I know Trump doesn't think is a big deal. And maybe in the scheme of things, it isn't. But it's going to disrupt some of the labor markets. And we don't know what. I mean, they do say a lot of stuff like, oh, migrant workers we're going to have anybody harvest our food or anything like that. I think that's a lot of people getting overly excited about something that we don't know what's going to happen yet. We got to see how it plays out. So there's going to be a lot of content to be made here in the next few months based on this stuff. It really worries me, even though if I had to align my interests with somebody, I mean, they'd certainly be aligned more with Donald Trump than they would be with Kamala Harris. But on the opposite side of that is that I do worry about where he's going with some of this stuff, and I have a lot of reservations about the guy, and I have a lot of reservations about who he is and how he's corrupted the people that are Christians in this country. How people and Christians are supporting a guy that doesn't act or has any kind of Christian. I mean, outside of the fact he says he's a believer in the Bible and calls the Bible one of the best books ever written next to his. His is second only to the Bible. And then he says he's a believer in Jesus and all that stuff. He says these things, but Trump does a lot of pandering without follow through. And I mean, I don't know what his true belief system is. He would definitely say that stuff to get elected. And of course, the guy would say whatever he wanted to say to get elected, or whatever he could say, because if he didn't get elected, he probably was going to have he's going to go bankrupt, and maybe possibly have a problem with being in jail. So yeah, he was going to say whatever he wanted to say to win whatever group he wanted to win, and that's what he did. But we'll see how much he actually follows through with that stuff. I hope that he doesn't follow through with the way he said he was going to follow, or do some of the stuff he says and follow through with the way he said, because there's going to be some real serious changes in this country, and a lot of people think those are going to be changes that are going to help our economy. A lot of people think they're changes that are going to hurt our economy. I'm somewhere in between. I mean, if you get rid of a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of these agencies that just put a lot of friction into our economy, wouldn't be a bad idea to get rid of them. But in the same token, you just can't dismantle the Constitution in the process. I mean, I went to law school. I understand the Constitution. And, that document has served us well for over 200 years. And to just override it all right now and just do whatever you wanted to do as a dictator, as he says he is going to be, a dictator the very first day. I mean, who threatens that? He says some outrageous stuff, and a lot of people give him a pass on the outrageous things he says and say that's just Donald Trump, basically just doing Donald Trump things, saying stuff that just get people's attention, or to try to shake people up, or to do stuff that's just outrageous. But when do you have to? I mean, this guy's running for president. When do you hold him accountable to what he says and say you can't say that kind of stuff? Can't say you want to be dictator for a day. That's, you can't put the world, in a place of uncertainty because you say you want to be dictator for a day because you just want to get everybody upset at what you may do. That's not good policy. That's not a good way to run your administration. That's not a good way to run this country. So as far as all that stuff's concerned, I do not agree with Donald Trump. However, I've been a Republican all my life. Probably align more with him as far as my value systems are concerned than I do with the other side of him. But the guy does scare me, and he scares me to death. And I'm going to make some videos about this. A long time ago, I used to make videos about Donald Trump because Donald Trump has a problem telling the truth. Regardless of what you think, it's reality that he has trouble telling the truth. And that's a problem when you have somebody that can't really trust because they always exaggerate or they say something that isn't true. And don't tell me he doesn't do this or it's just Donald Trump saying whatever he wants to say, because there is lots and lots of evidence online where he's actually said stuff that has been proven to be wrong, that he just either made up off the top of his head or he intentionally was trying to mislead people. So that's a problem. And we got a guy coming in just a little over a month or so here that is going to probably change the world more than we've ever seen it changed in the last, probably for quite a long time. Probably the most dramatic president we've ever seen in the history of our country. Nobody has changed or will change the country as much as Donald Trump will or has changed it. So we're going to see. But whatever the case, going to be a lot of content being made. And there's going to be a lot of things said and a lot of things done. I just hope he isn't as drastic and isn't as disruptive as he says he's going to be. Because if he does all the things he says he's going to do, that is not going to be overall a good thing. Although there'll be some small things that probably will help. But overall, it's not going to be good for anybody. And this is the ugliest vehicle. Speaking of Trump and his buddy Elon Musk. Man, what is this thing? This is the ugliest thing I think I've ever seen. I mean, this is that Tesla truck. I mean, you should be here with me. If you were here with me, this thing is gigantic. It's almost at the curb, and he's sticking clear out in the street with this thing. So, I mean, look at the sharp edges. Who wants to drive something with these sharp edges on it? I mean, this thing is just ugly. Look how much it sticks out in the street. I mean, it's clear out here in the middle of the street. I got to get out of the way so I don't get run over. I mean, the average car is quite a ways back, so you can at least get around it. But this thing is clear out in the street. Look at it. People have to actually watch when they're going around it because it sticks out in the street so far. Where's it from? It's not even from California. It's from Massachusetts. They drove this piece of junk all the way from Massachusetts. God. So yeah, this thing, I wouldn't own one of these. I don't think these things. I mean, I don't like the way it looks. I mean, I'm still kind of old school. I kind of really pay attention to what I drive. Something that I think looks good. If it doesn't look good to me, I don't really feel good driving it. And this has got to be one of the ugliest vehicles I've ever seen in my life. And look how far that thing sits out in the street. I mean, there's the line, kind of where you're parking. And look, it hits it about the back tire. It's about the back, a little farther than the back tire. This whole back half of this thing is sticking out in the street. Unbelievable.